BLEACH Rebirth of Souls is less than 10 days away, and since my last video we've had a couple of character trailers and several cinematic trailers which we need to break down in this video. As of making this video, 32 characters have been revealed with the new trailers for Starrk and Kaien Shiba, but there is also a teaser for one more character who's going to be in the base roster for the game, as we've seen glimpses of this individual at the end of some of the most recent trailers. So definitely stick around until the very end of the video, as I'll be discussing who else we can expect to see within Rebirth of Souls. And also we've got some exclusive details about the story content from people who have got their hands on Rebirth of Souls already. So yeah, you're definitely not going to want to miss this update video on Rebirth of Souls. So without further delay, let's dive into the latest information about the all-new BLEACH console game. Before the video begins, only 20% of the people who actually watch my content are subscribed to the channel. If you enjoy these videos, then subscribe and stick around for more content just like this. Now let's get back to the topic of the video. So we're kicking things off with the trailer for the Primera Espada Starrk. A lot of people, including myself, were waiting for this character to be revealed, so I'm so glad that he's finally gonna make it into the base roster. The Primera Espada Starrk is said to be proud of the tremendous firepower at his command, as he is able to fire Ceros in rapid succession. He is also able to divide himself into two separate beings. This of course is between himself and his Fraction Lilinet. So we begin with Starrk's signature move, which is Alma Karma. So while holding down input, Starrk is able to accumulate his spiritual pressure, holding his gun at the ready. In the normal state, Starrk expends his spiritual power when activating Dashing Quick Attack, Flash Attack, and Special Flash Attack. So it's important to secure spiritual power regularly by activating this move. So you can see this is more of a charge up attack, so he increases his spiritual power so that he is able to fire off all of those different types of attacks. So we have Spiritual Pressure Move 1, which is Cero Automatico. This involves Starrk stepping back in a flash as he fires a Cero from his gun. So the number of Ceros and the damage that he will cause will increase according to the amount of spiritual power which Starrk possesses. In the example, we can see Starrk stepping backwards and firing the Cero, and this leads to Spiritual Pressure Move 2 called The Two of Us Make One. Starrk's spiritual power will decrease little by little after activating, until the spiritual power is decreased to 0. Starrk will not expend his spiritual power when activating Dashing Quick Attack, Flash Attack, and Special Flash Attack. So this seems to be a temporary buff which allows Starrk to fire off multiple attacks in rapid succession without them directly consuming the spiritual power gauge, because it's already steadily decreasing. And that's definitely a very interesting mechanic to introduce into his character. Following this, we have Starrk's Awakening. Starrk's Awakening involves him unleashing his Resurrection Los Lobos, and his performance is overall enhanced. Unlike in the normal state, which fights mainly at long range, Starrk's fighting style alters into close range combat after he activates his Awakening. Starrk will be able to activate powerful attacks by using Blue Flame Wolf that will be stocked in exchange for his own Konpaku. So in the gameplay example of Starrk's Awakening, you can see he's in close range, he's fighting with those long swords against Shunsui, and then those blue wolves are raining down attacking too. And yeah, that's an absolutely incredible trailer. These visuals look amazing for Starrk. So Starrk's described as having unique abilities to turn spiritual power and Konpaku into offensive power. So thankfully I do have a stat sheet for Starrk, so let's talk about his different stats. His lowest is his durability, which is 1 point out of 5. And then the 3 balanced out stats that he has, which are at 3 points out of 5, are his power, speed, and technique. And by far his best stat overall is his reach. As we had seen with those guns, he is able to definitely target his opponents and keep a distance with them. So yeah, Starrk has incredible amounts of firepower, and in terms of ease of use, he is ranked at 2 stars out of 5. So that is character number 31 who has been revealed. We are now moving over to character number 32, who of course is Kaien Shiba. So this is going to be really interesting. I wasn't really expecting Kaien to be included in the game, so there you have a Zanpakuto Nejibana. So he's the former lieutenant of the 13th Squad. His superior set of skills makes him a well-rounded warrior who is capable of taking over the battlefield. So like a lot of other characters, Kaien has a special gauge, so this is called the current aura state. So Kaien will be in a current aura state by landing signature move Tumbling Current, or spiritual pressure move Sore Suiha to the As long as these land on the opponent, then this state will activate. During this state, the number of hits and the amount of damage and guard gauge depletion will increase. Spiritual Pressure Move 1 Sakanami involves thrusting his spear towards his opponent's feet as he attacks with a rising slash. It is effective to activate as an intercepting attack, or by reading the opponent's attack and making use of the invincibility timing. So you can see in the example, Kaien attacks low and then he sweeps up, so it seems like his opponent is unable to counter this attack, as we then have Spiritual Pressure Move 2 called Sore Suiha, and you activate a rush and slash attack here. If this move lands on the opponent, then Kaien will activate a follow-up attack with water, and he will be in a current aura state for a certain period of time. So yeah, you can see him rushing towards Rukia, slashing and attacking there. And then we have Kaien's Awakening, which I'm going to be really interested to see. Now, this is the release of his Shikai Nejibana. Kaien's abilities are enhanced here. There is no big changes in Kaien's movement, but it's easier to maintain current aura state for longer, and he will stab attack by using his reach like in his normal state. So you can see all of these different attacks here. Kaien's performance has improved significantly with the release of his Awakening. So yeah, he's firing off attacks in rapid succession. And there you have it, that was the character trailer for Kaien Shiba. So his actions are described as being flowing as he utilizes a variety of different techniques. It's apparent that a lot of the moveset that we see from Kaien is actually taken from when Arenyero had taken over his body. So it's great to see the real Kaien using these abilities. So let's have a look at his stat points. So his lowest stat by far is his technique or special skills, which are at 2 out of 5 points. And then his 3 stats at 3 points out of 5 are his power, toughness, and his reach. And his highest stat overall is his speed, as we had seen when he was firing off all of those attacks with his lance-shaped Zanpakuto. Now, having said all of this, Kaien is actually one of the easier characters to use in the game, as his ease of use is 5 out of 5. So he's definitely going to be a character that a lot of newcomers will want to play as. Now, following this, we've had several cinematic trailers. The first trailer that we'll be looking at is the opening movie 2 trailer. So the trailer begins with these incredible visuals from Ichigo's inner world as it then reflects back onto Karakura Town with Ichigo in the puddle. Okay, these are some really amazing visuals from iconic moments in the series. This is from Ichigo's Bankai training as he wields his Tensai Zangetsu. But then if you have a look at that, that was his inner hollow in its full hollow Vasta Lorde form, grabbing a hold of the Zanpakuto, which is a hint of things to come. So there's a lot of incredible visual imagery here, as it's apparent that this game's being created by die-hard BLEACH fans. You've got this hollow hole here which transforms into the moon, and then a crater which appears to be in Hueco Mundo. So this trailer is really giving me Persona vibes, as Ichigo there walking through his school. You've got Orihime, Chad, and Uryu, then you've got Rukia and Renji. I honestly love the visuals of this trailer. The color palette is so amazing, as we got the reveal of Shinji. Then that's of course the turn back the pendulum look. Urahara and Yoruichi also with Isshin there in the back. You've got Orihime in her Arrancar arc outfit. Then these amazing visuals of Oddman Zangetsu and Hollow Ichigo. So yeah, that's when Ichigo and the others break into Las Noches. Then you've got the Gotei 13 captains Byakuya, Kinpachi, Mayuri. And then you've got the different Espada who have been revealed for the game. Now what's interesting is that we haven't really had a character trailer for Baragon, but he's actually there. Then Ginichimaru, Tozen, Aizen. That's all of the Gotei 13 arriving within fake Karakura Town. And then Ichigo here. These trailers that they have created for this game are absolutely incredible. We've had amazing cinematic trailers here. And then we do see Tensai Zangetsu there, which hints at his final Getsuga Tensho, which I'm honestly looking forward to seeing more of. You can see that these final few trailers for the game are hinting at something really big. And yeah, that's the 21st of March, not too long away now. Got Ichigo's hollow mask shattering in the back. And then the next trailer was this special trailer featuring Rukia and Kaien. So this was an absolutely incredible trailer. It was really heartfelt, showing this incredible battle against Rukia and Arenyero, with Ukitake's speech on the 2 different types of battles, a battle to defend and a battle to protect one's honor. So yeah, these are key moments from the story which the game is doing an incredible job of conveying, with this amazing speech between Ukitake and Rukia, Memories in the Rain 2. That's amazing, Kaien finding the body of his wife and then confronting the Hollow who had killed her, Metastasia. So it's going to be really impressive to see if we're going to be able to play as Kaien in the story mode and actually fight against the Hollow. And it seems like there are going to be a lot of cutscenes in the story mode too. So there is no heart without you. Yeah, there's a lot of story content here. Kaien training with Rukia. Visuals of Kaien look amazing. I'm so glad that they've spent actually an entire trailer on this dynamic. This is one of my favorite portions of the Arrancar arc, and I'm so glad that they're showing it so much love. And I'm really glad that they're showing it so much love. That you have Aranero taking over Kaien's body as he battles against Rukia. Then you've got the cutscenes from their battle too. I think this game's going to do an incredible job of reminding people of the story of Bleach before the 1000-year Blood War. You mustn't die alone, do you understand that, Rukia? These are the final words that Kaien had said to her. This trailer combined with the Kaien trailer really caught me by surprise. Then you've got this really cool art of Kaien Shiba here with the raindrops pouring in the back. Yeah, they really are building up the hype for this game, and this trailer does a fantastic job of conveying the depth that the story mode will go into. Following this, we had the reveal of the Reverse Fate trailer, which focuses on Hokyoku empowered Aizen as we see him in his butterfly form, these amazing visuals of Ichigo in his Tensei Zangetsu, relive the rise of Ichigo. So we're going to relive the rise of Ichigo as we see the different opponents that he faces off against, like Ikaku, Renji. Then you've got Soifon here, Hitsugaya, Byakuya, overturn the tide of battle. So Chad. So these are the different fights from the Soul Society arc, Chad battling against Shunsui. Yeah, I think the focus of this trailer is just facing off against insurmountable odds. Accept your soul as Mayuri battles against Uryu, reverse your fate. Then there's Uryu's Let's Steal form. It's just so impressive how much they've managed to squeeze into this game. So many different aspects of the Bleach story, Yoruichi versus Soifon. I think despite them not having every single character in the game's roster, they've still managed to strike a solid balance so that they have enough characters to at least tell the key story beats of Bleach. So that's Ichigo finally when he rescues Rukia and he battles against Byakuya. You can see that they are going to cover a lot of the story as we then jump to the Arrancar arc with Grimmjow, Kenpachi versus Noitora, and these fight scenes look absolutely incredible. This is followed by some of the battles in Fake Karakura Town with Hitsugaya versus Haribel. So this is interesting. We've got Hisagi versus Tozen following this. So he's using his Zanpakuto Kazeshini, Komamura versus Tozen 2, Genichimaru here, and then Aizen in his Hokyoku evolved state. And oh my god, we've got Dangai Ichigo revealed. Yeah, this is mind-blowing. So he's battling against Hokyoku-infused Aizen, so it's confirmed that he will be in the game somehow. And this brings us to the latest opening cinematic movie for Bleach Rebirth of Souls. So we've got all of the different locations, which are primarily Karakura Town, the Soul Society, and Los Noches. Yeah, there's so many incredible visuals here. You've got a hollow hole here with Ukiura reaching out for the heart, followed by the Hokyoku, then the Senkaimon, followed by the prison bars where Rukia was held, and then we see the Senkaimon, which allows the Shinigami to travel to and from the Soul Society. So yeah, that's Rebirth of Souls, some incredible visuals to start off this cinematic trailer. We've got Ichigo in his substitute Shinigami gear, we've got these amazing visuals of the different characters, Rukia, Uryu, Chad, Orihime, Yoruichi and Urahara, Renji, and then incredibly you've got Old Man Zangetsu and Holo Ichigo. So yeah, that's the chains of fate being broken, and these stunning Persona-like visuals for Karakura Town. So yeah, that's the Grand Fisher's Lair, Menos Grande, Byakuya and Renji arriving within Karakura Town. Then you've got these stunning visuals of Ichigo in his substitute Shinigami gear. That's all of the Gotei 13, Rukia, Mayuri, Kenpachi, Hitsugaya, Rangiku, Hisagi, Tozen, Komamura, Shunsui, Byakuya and Renji again, Aizen, Kira and Gin, then Soifon, and Head Captain Yamamoto. And this is then going to transition over to the Arrancar, and these stunning visuals continue as we have Aizen with all of the different Espada here. That's Rukia and Ichigo, Orihime, then Old Man Zangetsu. And then this is visuals from the very first chapter where he battles against the Hollow Fishbone D after taking all of Rukia's powers. And then following this, his fight with Renji, and then his battle with Kenpachi followed by Byakuya. Then we have Ichigo's Hollow Mask as he's activating his Bankai, and then that hint at the Vastor Lorde full Hollow transformation. Ichigo this Tensei Zangetsu, Rukia here activating her Shikai in the Arrancar arc. These stunning visuals of Uryu and Mayuri's battle. Yeah, Yoruichi versus Soifon. Then we have these really cool visuals of Hitsugaya and Haribel, and then Hisagi and Tozen, Komamura also getting involved, and then Neliel and Noitora, followed by Starrk and Shunsui. And then of course you have Genichimaru, Rangiku and Aizen. I just love how they have grouped all of these characters together. And then of course Ichigo versus Grimmjow, and then the Vastor Lorde full hollow form versus Segunda Etapa Ukiura. And then all of the different face-offs here, as this then leads up to the final key visual for the game that's been revealed, with Ichigo in the middle and all of the characters behind him. So that was a very stunning, impressive cinematic trailer. And then at the end, we've got this teaser for the final Getsuga Tensho, which once again hints at the reveal for Dangai Ichigo, who I think will be the final character revealed for this game, which will bring the total roster to 33. I say this because after the latest character trailer for Kaien Shiba, there is a coming soon slot here, which I think will be reserved for Dangai Ichigo. Some people think that it may just be for the DLC 1000 Year Blood War characters who have yet to be announced, but I think that we are going to be getting one more character reveal before the game releases on the 21st of March. The official Rebirth of Souls Twitter page has also revealed all of the 1000 Year Blood War costumes that we'll be getting if you pre-order the Ultimate Edition of this game. So you've got the costumes for Rangiku, Byakuya, Mairi with his sun outfit, Neliel, and Grimjow, who will be appearing as they do within the 1000 Year Blood War arc. Then you have the Rebirth of Souls exclusive costumes, which just have these different looks for Renji, Urahara, Gin, Shunsui, and Kinpachi. Now these costumes are definitely the least exciting for me. I do also wish that they had costumes for other characters, like Rukia's costume would have been cool, or even a costume for Aizen with his 1000 Year Blood War arc appearance would have been really amazing. I don't want to be ungrateful, I still am very impressed with what we are getting. And I don't think that the promotion for Rebirth of Souls is up yet, as we again still do have that trailer for Dangai Ichigo, and there may still be further reveals with additional DLC content which we know nothing about yet. So currently some people have already got copies of Rebirth of Souls. Apparently it features one of the longest story modes for an anime game, and it's taking about 35 to 40 hours to complete the story. This is if you do not skip the cutscenes. This is evident from the trailers. From that Kaien Shiba and Rukia trailer, you can see how in depth they have gone with the story mode. If the game has a base roster of 33 characters, there's a lot of story to tell there with all of these characters getting involved, and there's even additional non-playable characters like Oruman Zangetsu, Hollow Ichigo, and the different Hollows who will also feature in the story mode. And also in earlier trailers we had the reveal that Rebirth of Souls would also have what if stories and side stories where we see the story of Bleach through the perspective of different characters. So yeah, for now this is absolutely everything that I have on Rebirth of Souls. We've talked about the character trailer for Starrk and Kaien, we've looked at every single cinematic trailer that's been revealed thus far, we've had a look at the newly revealed 1000 Year Blood War costumes, and the Rebirth of Souls exclusive costumes, and not to mention the teasers for Dangai Ichigo, as well as these leaks that the story mode for this game is going to be about 35 to 40 hours long. Now we have reached the point of the video where I want to hand over the discussion to all of you. What do you guys think about all of this latest Bleach Rebirth of Souls information that I've discussed within this video? I'll definitely be making a update if there are any more trailers or if we do get that Dangai Ichigo character trailer video. So definitely stick around to the channel by subscribing and continue the discussion for Rebirth of Souls. We are less than 10 days away from the channel. I'm going to be covering the game in depth once it releases, as we'll be doing a lot of story mode content as well as online ranked battles. If you have any recommendations for how I should be making content for this game and what you want to see, then also let me know in the comments. And lastly, thanks for making it to the end of this one, and I cannot wait to see you in my next video.
A massive thank you goes out to all of my amazing Patreon supporters for helping to make this video possible. If you also want to support the channel and see your name in the end of my videos, then check out my Patreon, which has loads of perks like early video access and so much more. Thank you for sticking around till the end of the video, and whatever you contribute will mean a lot to me.